fine school in Bucharest for diplomats' children. They could learn things about the world that they would never learn at a school here. Now, please, do think about it. I regret to say that we have to have an answer by this weekend. You see, the president hoped that if I appealed to you personally, that's why I'm here.
I'll think about it. More pie, Tim?
No, thanks.
I thought peach was your favorite.
No, thank you. Just as well to make you fat.
I don't think Tim will ever be fat. Right, honey? Come sit down.
Don't sit there.
I had a visit today from a very important man. He's the president's foreign affairs advisor. He wanted to know if I might reconsider accepting the nomination for ambassador.
What'd you tell him?
I told him I'd give it some thought. What do you think?
I want to go. Can we go, Mom, please? I don't want to stay here anymore.
What about Little League?
I don't care about Little League.
How do you feel, Beth? At school in a foreign country, a country where we don't speak the language?
Well, it's really what you want to do. I wouldn't mind. Not now. I really wouldn't.
Tell me what to do. Oh, God.
I think that's just about everything.
Wouldn't you know I forgot to give this to the milkman? Would you do that for me?
Yeah, of course I will.
This morning I got this terrible feeling that we'd never come back here.
Oh, come on. It's a 2-year lease.
Florence, you think I'm doing what he would have wanted me to do?
I know it. Oh, that's Duck with the kids.
I'll be out in a minute. Goodbye, my darling.
Mrs. Ashley, how do you do? My name is John Burns from the State Department.
Nice to know you. My daughter Beth and my son Tim.
Hi, Tim. Here, let me have those bags. We have a car waiting for you right over here. Mr. Rogers wanted me to meet you and your family and make sure that I got you to your lodgings safely. We've rented a nice home for you out in Falls Church, Virginia. I think you'll be comfortable there.
I'm sure we will.
Have you been to Washington before?
No, we haven't.
Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. If you have your baggage claim tags, I'll take care of your luggage.
I've got them.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You excuse me, I'll be right back.
Mom,
Yes?
do you think I could sit up front?
With Mr. Burns?
Yeah. Mom, it's Lincoln! It's Lincoln!
It's humongous.
And candy!
I'm gonna go look around, okay?
Yeah, me too.
Well, I hope you find everything satisfactory, Mrs. Ashley.
Thank you, Mr. Burns.
And if you don't need anything more for the moment, I'll be running along.
Oh, everything's fine.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye.
Who is it? Who is it?
Hello? I am the bearer of good news, Mrs. Ashley. We have had some private discussions with the Romanian government, and they have no objection to your appointment. So all we need now is confirmation by the Senate. Is everything here to your liking?
It's wonderful if I can afford it. How much does an ambassador get paid?
$65,000 a year plus housing allowance. Now, you'd better get yourself some rest. You have a big day tomorrow. Can you make yourself available at 9 in the morning?
Yes. What for?
The president, Mrs. Ashley. The president.
At last. I feel as though I already know you.
Mr. President, forgive me. I'm standing here in the Oval Office. I'm just a little overwhelmed at the moment.
I know exactly how you feel. I haven't been here very long myself. Thank you, Stanton.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Please be seated. I hope Mr. Rogers conveyed my condolences to you.
Yes, he did.
Mrs. Ashley, we have a problem. A great many people outside this office, more than I would like to admit, simply don't think that my program can work. But we're going to fool them.
I'll do my best to live up to your expectations.
If we can make this work in Romania, we can make it work in other communist countries. And by heavens, we are going to do that, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't let them intimidate you.
I beg your pardon?
The Senate Foreign Relations Committee, they'll badger the devil out of you. But you smile sweetly and tell them without any modesty whatsoever just how wonderful you are.
Mrs. Ashley, you've been teaching political science at the University of Kansas for several years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You're a native of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
And your parents were Romanian.
Yes, sir.
I refer to a series of articles that you wrote for Foreign Affairs magazine. Could you tell this committee the basic premise of those articles?
They are based upon the fact that several regional economic pacts currently exist in the world. And because they are mutually exclusive, they serve to divide our world into antagonistic and competitive blocks instead of uniting it. Now, Europe has the common market, the Eastern Bloc has Comcone, and then there's OECD. I'd like to see our government form a common market, with allies and adversaries alike. Countries that engage in a profitable partnership do not kill one another any more than individuals would.
Mrs. Ashley, I happen to know something about Romania myself. Indeed, ever since they turned communist in '46. Do you honestly believe that you can deal with these people?
If you'll permit me, Senator, I think you'll find that Romania wasn't actually under Russian communist control until 1947, when King Michael gave up the throne. And the communist constitution wasn't actually adopted until 1952.
Answer the question, please.
The answer is yes. I believe we can deal with them. I believe we must.
I suppose, Mrs. Ashley, you've done a good deal of traveling.
No, sir.
Been to Europe?
No, sir.
Just where have you been, Mrs. Ashley?
I've given lectures at the University of Chicago and a series of talks in Denver, Atlanta, and San Francisco.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
And you expect to represent these United States in a sensitive Iron Curtain country when your entire knowledge of it comes from living in Junction City, Kansas? Is that true?
No, sir.
No?
My knowledge comes from earning a PhD in political science. I've had 7 years of teaching that subject with an emphasis on the Iron Curtain countries. It's true, I haven't had diplomatic experience in dealing with foreign countries, but may I point out that 1/3 of our country's ambassadors are also people without previous experience?
Some people might find that very unfortunate.
I know the current problems of the Romanian people. I know what they think of the United States and why. But all they know about us is what their propaganda machines tell them. I want to convince them that the United States is not an arrogant, patronizing, war-hungry country. I'd like to show them what a typical American family is really like. After all, what's so terribly wrong in seeing us for what we really are? If I'm confirmed, Senator, I promise you I'll let that be known. Who knows? They might even like us.
Ambassador, this must be quite a personal triumph for you. You expect to see the president later today?
I don't know.
Mrs. Ashley, Ben Cohen, Washington Post. Could I get an interview with you later this afternoon?
Right this way, Mrs. Ashley.
Nice try, Ben.
I do solemnly swear I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Mrs. Ashley, I am happy to say that you are now the new ambassador to the Socialist Republic of Romania.
It's crazy.
What?
Something really weird going on in this town.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mary Ashley,
Who?
the new ambassador to Romania. She's made the cover of magazines, newspapers. She hasn't even started yet.
Look, Ben, I don't like to bring this up, but I'm on a schedule here, you know? I'm booked for another party tonight.
Somebody, I don't know why, but somebody's giving her the movie star buildup.
So who cares? You got any ice cream?
Ice cream?
I love ice cream. Sometimes on a plate, sometimes in a cone. You like ice cream?
I love ice cream.
This could never happen in England. They never use rank amateurs, especially for a post like this one. I'm furious.
I don't blame you. We need a diplomat, and they sent us the Wizard of Oz.
That's Washington for you. Mrs. Ashley, won't you come in? I imagine you're very anxious to get started.
Yes, very.
You must be aware, of course, what a very sensitive, very difficult post this is.
Yes, I am. Acutely aware.
The president would be damned upset if you... Anyway, we're going to have to make an instant expert out of you. Our time's limited. You've already been marked as an easy target.
I have.
A single woman, a woman alone. They're going to take advantage of that loneliness, Mrs. Ashley. You can be assured of that. Let's get to work.
Bună dimineața. Good morning.
Excellent. You give it a very cosmopolitan accent.
From my parents, actually.
Nu intellect.
Nu înțeleg. It means I don't understand. I think that's one expression that's going to come in very handy.
You're going to do very well, Mrs. Ashley. Forte bene, forte bene.
Forte bene.
You will all have diplomatic immunity at your new post. You cannot be arrested for speeding, drunk driving, burning down a home, or even murder. When you die, no one can touch your body or examine any note you may have left. You don't have to pay your bills. The stores can't sue you.
Excuse me.
Go right ahead, Mrs. Ashley.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
What in the world are you doing?
Mike Slade. Nice to meet you.
I don't think that answers the question.
I work here. I'm your neighbor. I just thought I'd drop by and say hello.
Nothing like making yourself comfortable, Mr. Slade. They haven't furnished you with a desk of your own?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I have.
But you prefer snooping at mine.
I always heard that you Kanzanians were real friendly folk.
Tell you what, Mr. Slade. I'll give you 2 seconds to leave my office before I call the guard.
Guess I heard wrong.
And if you really work in this department, you might even consider shaving.
I used to have a wife that talked like that. I don't have her anymore.
Lucky lady. Goodbye, Mr. Slade.
My friends call me Mike.
Goodbye, Mr. Slade.
But are you enjoying Washington, Madam Ambassador?
Yes, very much, thank you. I'm afraid I'm neglecting my children.
Well, at least you've succeeded in escaping Kansas for a while.
Escaping?
I'm not too familiar with Middle America, but it must be quite tiresome on a permanent basis. All that corn and wheat and soybeans.
Yes. Yes, I suppose we are unfortunate in being able to help feed the world.
The way I look at it is that automobiles run on gasoline, but I wouldn't want to live in the oil fields. To be quite honest, there's not really that much to do, is there?
Well, I guess if you don't count the ballet, the symphonies, and the theater, which we enjoy all year, there's always the softball tournaments and the county fairs, and my husband always loved the fishing at Clear Lake. You'd have to say we raise more than crops, I think. We raise honest-to-goodness human beings. If you'll excuse me.
What you don't seem to understand yet, Mrs. Ashley, is that this town takes its rules very seriously. A lot of them are stupid, I admit, but we have to live by them.
What did I do?
Last evening, you broke rule number 1. No one, but no one, leaves a party before the guest of honor, which in this case was the Brazilian ambassador.
You see, my children were expecting
There are
me.
no children in Washington, Mrs. Ashley, only voters. You also insulted Mrs. Hart Brisbane sitting next to you at dinner.
Oh, not enough, Mr. Stupley, not nearly enough.
Good morning. I shaved, put on a new tie. You like it?
You two have met?
Not really. I found Mr. Slade at my desk.
Mike. He's your new chief of staff. Mike's on the Eastern European desk. Usually works out of Washington, but it's been decided to assign him to Romania as your deputy chief.
I promise to shave every day.
I thought an ambassador was permitted to choose her own deputy chief of staff.
That is correct. However, in this case,
Then I'm unchoosing Mr. Slade. I don't want him.
under ordinary circumstances, Mrs. Ashley, you'd be perfectly within your rights. But in this case, the order comes from the White House.
Cheer up, Madam Ambassador. I have a way of growing on people.
Mike.
The new ambassador to Romania is taking Washington by storm. Her winning ways have charmed senators and socialites alike in a town that does not treat newcomers kindly. And in the process, she is personally demolishing opposition
You mind telling me
to
something?
President Ellison's
Huh?
controversial people.
How does someone like Mary Ashley dominate the evening news?
Don't
ask me.
It looks as if Mary Ashley is going to be a political and public relations success, which is exactly
You're in
what
charge of press relations for the State Department, aren't you?
Yes.
What gives? I mean, what's behind the buildup? It's beyond any normal sort of procedure.
I can't help you. That's State Department business. I'm just a hired hand. You might write them a letter.
Sure, sure. They'll tell me very diplomatically to go jump in the lake. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find out a few things for myself. Like what? Like, what happened to make her change her mind about the nomination?